Hello everyone and welcome to the Kiki London YouTube channel. My name's Amanda and in today's video we are going to be doing a strawberry milk inspired set of nails. I kind of wanted to have something that was giving strawberry milkshake. So after the launch of the two latest sculpting gel shades, strawberry milk was my personal favorite of the two, and as soon as I see this color I wanted to do something strawberry and something fun, so I thought that's what we would do in today's video. So we're going to be using strawberry milk and the Kiki London Polygel Brush to apply this, and then of course we're going to incorporate some of the sculpting gel shades from the original launch. So we're going to be using Milky White and Crystal Clear. So let's jump in to the first nail. I'm going to start off by applying a thin slip layer to the entire nail, and then I'm going to pick up my builder ball of gel and I want to apply some strawberry pieces at the tip of this nail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that ball of gel down at the cuticle area, and we're going to start building up our apex and some of our structure, but then we're going to thin this color out as we get towards the tip so that we can apply our strawberry pieces, a little bit of glitter, and then encapsulate. Now I quickly wanted to mention, of course, if you were doing this set on yourself or a client, you would go in and do all your prep to begin with. You would apply your base coat and then you would either sculpt or apply some tips, or unless you were doing an overlay. But then even if you were doing an overlay, I'd still recommend doing a thin clear base and then coming in and kind of like doing all your nail design. So we're working over the top of these display tips, and I'm kind of acting as though we've already got a sculpted clear base layer or an overlay layer down, and we're just coming in and doing the design. But we're still going to be encapsulating and building the structure the same as though we were working on a natural real nail. So as you can see, I've applied the strawberry pieces down, and then I'm just tapping on a little bit of glitter because I wanted this to look pretty. I wanted there to be a hint of sparkle. So I'm just using my stripe liner brush, and I've taken a small amount of the gel onto the stripe liner brush so those glitter pieces pick up nice and easy, and then we're just placing them down around those strawberry pieces. Now these strawberry pieces are quite chunky, so they work well in the sculpting gel because you can press them down into the gel and then it makes encapsulating them a lot easier. Of course, to encapsulate we're going to be using the Crystal Clear sculpting gel. So to encapsulate, I'm going to take a slip layer again and apply this over the entire nail, and I'm really working this around those strawberry pieces and around those glitter pieces so that we get a layer covering all of those chunky edges. Then when it comes to applying our ball of gel, it's going to flow effortlessly over those chunky strawberries and the chunky glitter pieces because we've applied that slip layer underneath. It's going to guide that ball of gel where to go, but now this larger ball of gel, it hasn't got a struggle getting in all the little gaps and all those little pieces, so it just makes it effortless when it comes to encapsulating. Now I love encapsulating with the Crystal Clear sculpting gel because of the viscosity. It's so easy to work with, but it has the most crystal clear clarity. So when you're doing things like encapsulating glitters, you get full-on sparkles coming through, but then it's great for things like glass nails as well, which is something I would really like to do on the channel. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see kind of like a glass set of nails using the sculpting gel. So the sculpting gel does require a 60-second cure, so each time I've popped anything to do with the sculpting gel into cure, we have cured that for 60 seconds. Now on this nail I wanted to do kind of like an ombre tip, so I'm going to go in with Milky White and I'm going to apply my slip layer, but I'm not going to apply it to the entire nail. I'm going to apply it to where I want my white tip to be, and then we're going to blend this back so we haven't got a harsh line. This is going to make our ombre effortless when it comes to applying strawberry milk. And then with my builder ball of gel, I'm not going to take this as far down as our fade. I'm just going to place it just away from that fade line and then start walking it down from side to side to the tip of the nail, and then I do just go back and blend this back a little bit. Whenever you're doing any kind of ombre, you want to make sure the color is nice and soft at that blend area, and there's not like this harsh line where the white finishes, because you will see this through the ombre. It kind of just won't look as seamless. Now I did still want to come in and add some strawberry vibes, but I felt as though adding 2 strawberries was a little bit too large on this nail. I wish these strawberry pieces were a little bit smaller. So I just went in with the one, and then I'm going to tap on some glitters as well. But then this nail definitely did make me feel as though I want to do a full set of ombre nails with Milky White and Strawberry Milk, because I think they are the perfect combination for a classic baby boomer. So that's something I definitely want to do for myself, because a lot of the time when I wear nails on myself, if I'm keeping them on for a little while, I tend to go for something a little bit more simple sometimes, and I think a classic baby boomer has to be one of my favorite nail designs anyway. So let me know if that's as well something you would like to see, because then I could fit in doing it in a video rather than just doing it for myself. So we're going to come in now with cured our Milky White, and we're going to come and apply our Strawberry Milk, and I'm going to apply this over the entire nail, but I'm going to apply it very thin when we're going over the Milky White. So you can see I'm pulling some of it back, because a very thin coat of this is sheer enough to create that nice blend area, but we don't want to apply it too thickly over the Milky White because we don't want to cover up that white. Then I'm going to pick up my builder ball of gel, place this down at the cuticle area, and as you can see I'm pulling a little bit away from the cuticle area so that we have a nice thin area at the cuticle, so this would be nice and flush. And then I'm using majority of this product to build up the apex area, and then we're very gently going to blend it over that white. I'm not going to take it all the way down to the tip of the nail because we've got a hint of pink going all the way over the white, but like I said, we don't want to cover up that white too much. And this is why I felt as though as soon as I got this color, that this would be perfect for any kind of ombre, because you can apply your thin slip layer and that's going to create an effortless blend, and then you can come in with your builder gel layer and build up the rest of the nail without having to go over the white, and it just is effortless to make a ombre look. Now we are going to come in and encapsulate, because of course we need to encapsulate those strawberry pieces fully in and the glitters, otherwise they will file off when it comes to filing. So I'm going to apply my clear slip layer to the entire nail, but I've already built up enough of the apex with the Strawberry Milk when we was doing the ombre, so I'm kind of just going to encapsulate from that fade area downwards, and I'm using just small beads of gel to do this so that I don't apply too much product. It's going to melt into the slip layer, and then you're just able to build up that structure where it's needed. This is a lot easier than going in and fully encapsulating the nail and applying gel where you don't need it and then ending up having to file that off. Running just down the center of the nail was still looking a little thin, so I just took a small amount of gel just running down that center part of the nail, and then I'm going to hold it upside down, let gravity do its thing, and then it's going to even out beautifully. My application was a little bit uneven, but nothing that was too hard to fix with a file, which I will show you guys further along. On to the third nail, I wanted to try something that I haven't done in a while, so I wanted to do a marble. I was going to say ombre. I wanted to do a marble with gel polish in the sculpting gel. So I've applied my thin layer of sculpting gel. Bearing in mind, if you was doing this on yourself, you would already have a cured clear layer underneath. So I've applied my slip layer, and then I'm going to take Pink Me Up and Classic White and apply this onto my palette. Now I went for Pink Me Up because I wanted quite a bright pink, because we're going to apply a layer of Strawberry Milk over the top of the marble to create this soft milky look. So I wanted a colour that was vibrant enough that we can soften it, but you're still going to be able to see it, if that makes sense. Like if I'd gone for a lighter pink, when we apply the Strawberry Milkshake over the Strawberry Milk over the top, it would soften a lighter pink too much. So just bear that in mind if you're recreating the design and using a different pink shade. So I've dotted down Classic White and Pink Me Up onto that wet slip layer, and then I'm just taking my stripe liner brush and running through the colours, and it looks a little bit crazy at the moment because it's quite vibrant, and I feel as though that doesn't really suit the look of the design we're doing. But trust me, when you come in and apply that thin layer of Strawberry Milk over the top, it really gives off those milky vibes. So I'm just messing about with the colours, pulling them into one another. It's going to create quite a defined marble because you're not using something like blooming gel where you'd get those soft marble designs. And then before popping the marble into cure, I'm just going to tap on a few little glitter pieces here and there so we have some hints of sparkle. Again, we're going to cure this for 60 seconds because the sculpting gel requires a 60-second cure. So then once that's cured, those glitters are going to be held in place and our marble is going to be cured in place. base. So I'm just going to put a very thin layer of strawberry milk over the top. I say very thin, I take that back, it's more of a thin to medium layer, and as you can see, it's really softened that marble look and given us that milky effect. Now I could have come in and fully built the rest of the nail with the strawberry milk, but I feel as though it just would have covered up the marble a little too much. So rather than building up the rest of the structure with strawberry milk, I just did that thin layer for nail art purposes, and then we're going to come in and build up the rest of the nail with our encapsulation layer. Now when you're playing about with layered nail designs and then it comes to encapsulating, you need to bear in mind how thick you've already done the nail. So if you've built up a lot of the structure in amongst doing your nail art, when it comes to doing your encapsulation layer, you don't need to do this too thickly. So you'll see here we're kind of just going in with quite a thin layer because we have our clear base, we've then got our thin layer of strawberry milk, we've then got the design and another layer of strawberry milk. So we're just going to come in and just do a thin encapsulation layer. But of course, when you're doing this, you can sort of look at the nail from all angles and check that you've got enough product there for your apex. If you've done all of your nail art quite thin, you can come in and build up a bit more structure with your encapsulation layer. So I loved how those three nails looked, but I did just want to do a full nail of strawberry milk just so the colour popped in the set. So if I'm just doing a full nail of this colour, I wouldn't necessarily need to have a clear base underneath, but if I was going into a nail design where I know I'm doing a lot of nail art, or if I'm going to be infilling and then the client, for example, might want a different nail design, it's easier to have that clear base down. So then when it comes to infilling and you file back, you've got a clear base layer to work on top of, if that makes sense. So with this step, if you're doing a full set of strawberry milk, you don't need to have that clear layer underneath, as they are strengthening products by themselves, whether they're coloured or clear. But I'm just going to come in, I've done my slip layer, and then I've started working my product down the nail. I started off with not a big enough ball of gel to fully do a full sort of a full structure to the nail. I lost my train of thought there. So I come in with another ball of gel, and I just wanted to show you guys that if you don't feel confident building up the nail in one layer with the sculpting gel, one ball, you can come in and pick up 2 balls, 3 balls, however you feel comfortable. And again as well, if you don't feel like you're comfortable enough doing it in one layer, you can do it in 2 or 3, kind of like you can work with the gel to get it to work for you, because it's a very easy to use, versatile product. Now once you have cured your sculpting gel, it does leave behind quite a tacky inhibition layer. So if you're going to go in and file, you want to wipe off this tacky inhibition layer. So I'm going to go in with my Kiki London 100/180 grit file, and I'm using both sides. So first of all, I come in and I shape just using the 100 grit side, just to kind of bring back the crisp shape that you would have created either with your tips or your clear base on your form. And then I do like to only go around the cuticle area with the 180 grit side of the file, especially if I've applied my application thin and neat, because we don't want to take off too much product. If you have got any areas that need debulking, any areas that are a little bit uneven, your 100 grit file is going to get rid of any lumps or bumps very quickly. But the sculpting gel does file effortlessly, so you do want to be very careful that you don't over file. So if you've applied your gel and you're quite happy with your application and you just kind of want to refine the nail to get it looking perfect, you might feel comfortable enough just doing this with the 180 grit side. When it comes to removing the product, I always use the 100 grit side to file down to a thin layer, and then I'll soak off in acetone. Jumping back though to what we're doing now, after I finish my filing, I always like to go over the nail with the Kiki London buffer just to smooth out any harsh scratches that might be left behind from filing, and then this just gives us a nice smooth finish. You don't want to over buff though, so that the nail is too shiny, as then you might have issues with your top coat sticking. I did off camera as well give these nails a really good clean, so I dusted over them with the Kiki London dust brush, and then I wiped over them with some alcohol. This is going to make sure that the nails have got all of that dust from filing removed, and you're then ready to go in and apply your chosen top coat. So any of the top coats will work with the Kiki London sculpting gel. I'm using the crystal top coat today because because I absolutely love the shine on this one. And then this was the finished result. So I thought they looked super cute. I love a fruity set of nails, so it was fun to do some strawberry milkshake ones. Let me know what you thought of this design in the comments below. And the sculpting gels are currently on offer as well, so I will leave the link to the Kiki London website in the description box below as well. If you did enjoy today's video, please do give it a thumbs up, hit that subscription button if you haven't already, and I shall see you all again in the next video. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Lots of love. Bye bye.